Welcome back to Sikho German, Lektion 17, and in this lesson we are learning one of the most useful topics in everyday German, Modal Verben, or modal verbs. In this lesson we will learn what modal verbs are, why they are so important, and how to use them correctly in sentences. Modal verbs help us express ability, permission, wishes, and obligations, so they appear in German all the time. Modal verbs are special verbs that change the meaning of the main verb in a sentence. They help us express ideas such as can, must, may, should, want, and would like. So instead of only saying an action, we also add attitude or meaning to that action. Before diving into it, hit the subscribe button for the upcoming lectures. Now that we know what modal verbs are, let's see how they work inside a German sentence. This is the most important part because modal verbs follow a special sentence structure. Here is the key rule: subject plus modal verb in second position, plus object plus main verb in infinitive at the end. Only the modal verb is conjugated, and the main verb stays in the infinitive form at the end. If you remember this one structure, modal verbs become much easier. These first examples are perfect for explaining how the structure works in real sentences. Ich kann Deutsch sprechen means I can speak German. Notice that kann is conjugated, but sprechen stays at the end in the infinitive form. Wir müssen morgen lernen means we must study tomorrow. Again, müssen is the modal verb, and lernen stays at the end. Will nach Berlin fahren means he wants to go to Berlin. This example shows the same structure very clearly. The modal verb comes early, and the main verb, fahren, goes to the end. Now we will learn the 6 main modal verbs: können, can or to be able to, müssen, must or have to, dürfen, may or allowed to, sollen, should, supposed to, wollen, want to, and mögen, to like. 2 very useful polite forms, möchte, meaning would like, and hätte, meaning would like to have. These are especially important in polite German, for example, in restaurants, shops, or formal conversations. Next, we will see the table showing the conjugation of können, dürfen, mögen, sollen, wollen, and müssen with the main pronouns. Ich kann, sie es kann, du kannst, ihr könnt, wir or formal Sie können. Here is the full conjugation table. Here we can see that with ich and sie es, the modal verb takes the same form. Modal verbs don't follow the same endings as regular verbs because modal verbs are highly irregular and must be memorized as forms. Let's learn with the examples. Ich kann Deutsch sprechen means I can speak German. Use können when you want to express ability. Notice that kann is conjugated, but sprechen stays at the end in the infinitive form. Wir können heute kommen means we can come today. This is another example of können showing possibility or ability. Kann sehr gut kochen means he can cook very well. Here, können shows skill or capability. Now we move to müssen, which means must or have to. Ich muss morgen arbeiten means I have to work tomorrow. So whenever there's pressure, duty, or necessity, müssen is often the right modal verb. Du musst pünktlich sein means you must be on time. This is a strong form of obligation or necessity. Wir müssen mehr lernen means we have to study more. Again, there is pressure, so müssen is the right modal verb.
Now we look at dürfen, which means may or to be allowed to. Kinder dürfen hier spielen means children are allowed to play here. Here, dürfen is used as permission. Darf ich hier sitzen means may I sit here? This is a very common and polite question when asking for permission. Ihr dürft jetzt essen means you all may eat now. So dürfen is the modal verb for permission. Next is sollen, which means should or to be supposed to. Du sollst mehr Wasser trinken means you should drink more water. Here, sollen is used as advice. Ich soll das machen means I am supposed to do that. This often suggests advice, expectation, or instruction from someone else. Wir sollen ruhig sein means we should be quiet. This is a useful sentence for classrooms and everyday instructions. Now we come to wollen, which means want to. Ich will nach Berlin fahren means I want to go to Berlin. Here, wollen is used as desire. Sie will ein neues Handy kaufen means she wants to buy a new phone. This shows personal intention or desire. Wir wollen heute kochen means we want to cook today. So wollen is direct and clear when talking about what someone wants. Next is mögen, which means to like. Ich mag Pizza means I like pizza. Mag Hunde means he likes dogs. This verb is often used with nouns to express likes and dislikes. Wir mögen Musik means we like music. So mögen is very useful for talking about preferences.
Now we move to the polite form möchte, meaning would like. Ich möchte einen Kaffee trinken means I would like to drink a coffee. This sounds much more polite than ich will in many situations. Wir möchten bezahlen means we would like to pay. This is a very practical sentence you can use in a restaurant. Möchtest du mitkommen means would you like to come along? This is a very natural invitation in spoken German. This slide introduces hätte, meaning would like to have. Ich hätte gern einen Wasser means I would like to have a water. This is another very common polite phrase, especially when ordering something. Hätte gern einen Laptop means he would like to have a laptop. Here, the structure shows a polite wish for an object. Wir hätten gern einen Tisch für zwei means we would like a table for two. This is one of the most useful real-life restaurant phrases in German. Now let's practice. I'll give you 5 sentences with blanks. Fill in the correct conjugated form of the modal verb in parentheses. Pause the video and give it a try. Here are the answers. Let's check how you did. Now let's summarize. First, modal verbs are special verbs that change the meaning of the main verb. Second, they help us talk about ability, permission, wishes, and obligations. Third, sentence structure, the modal verb at the second position, and the main verb stays in the infinitive at the end. Fourth, only the modal verb is conjugated. And finally, you learn the most useful modal verbs in German: können, müssen, dürfen, sollen, wollen, mögen, plus the polite forms möchte and hätte. Great job! You now understand modal verbs in German. This is a huge achievement because modal verbs include the most used verbs in the German language. Now you can speak more naturally, describe actions accurately, and sound like a native speaker. Keep learning with Sikho German. If this lesson helped you master modal verbs, please give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss future lessons. Also, share it with your friends learning German and leave a comment with a sentence using a modal verb you learned today. Thank you so much for learning with Sikho German today. I'll see you in the next lesson. Bis bald. Auf Wiedersehen.